Monday morning. So happy to be here with you. Good morning. We're a little earlier today, so hopefully you're joining live, and if not, the replay is awesome too. So welcome. Hope you have had a relaxing weekend so far, and just taking a moment to appreciate being here right now with each other. Thank you. I'm just going to go through some of the props. If you are kind of new to joining us, I want to turn the music down just a hair. And the song that's on right now is going to be kind of the theme for today, the flow of let go. And that's been just kind of on my heart and mind. The changing of the seasons and the first big snow here at Mount Shasta, and just in my personal journey, the flow of let go and just allowing things to come in and out of our lives as needed, as they're serving us, as what's best for us. So I'm going to really try to introduce a lot of elements of water, of flow in the postures and in the breath today. And so hopefully you can take that with you, the flow of let go, letting things flow through our lives and go on as needed. So just quickly, so I'll run through the prop list. Blankets can be very helpful, especially this early in the morning and with the temperatures decreasing, body's taking a little longer to warm up, so blanket can be helpful. If you have a yoga strap or a jiu-jitsu belt, or you can use a necktie, I've used those before. That can also be helpful in supporting you. Yoga blocks. This can also be, I've used really big books before. I've used cat treat containers. I've used all types of things. So finding something that might work for you if you know that a block is needed in your practice. I'm going to be doing some restorative postures today towards the end of class, and we'll be using some blocks, but I'll show you modifications. The other thing is you can just grab a pillow or a cushion instead if you don't have any of the above. So, yeah. And I'm going to just open us with a chant. And this chant inherently honors the flow. It's really an honor of the connectivity between us all and the creative force that flows through us all and connects us. And so just taking a moment to find a comfortable seated position. You can also lie on your back if that feels right for you. And just taking a moment to arrive in your space. Really feeling into where your body meets the floor. Connecting to your root system today. Connecting with the earth below you. And once you've established a strong seat, I like to imagine just like sand flowing down into my legs, my butt, my base, and just establishing a really strong seat. And then engaging the lower abs and the low back, slight engagement there, and then aligning the spine. So I just ask my body to show me proper spinal alignment. So connecting with the breath and just intending spinal alignment. Shoulders melt back towards the floor. I like to imagine an imaginary string from the top of my head up to the ceiling, lifting me up, just giving me even further spinal alignment, even more room between the vertebrae. Breathing here. It's an engaged, aware posture, but we're not overextending. And then connecting with the breath. Noticing where you feel the breath today. Is the inhale coming from your chest? Maybe you feel it in your nostrils or the nose. Perhaps you feel it in the belly. Just taking note. Not trying to change anything. Just bringing awareness to the breath. I invite you to close your eyes. And breathe. I'm going to sound the Tibetan chime one time. And as you breathe, just allow your focus to follow the sound of the chime to completion. Good, and just continuing to breathe here. Allow your body to open. Continuing to breathe. We're going to do some breath work together, and I just want to turn any notifications off so we are not disrupted. I apologize. Okay. I think I needed to do that anyways. you need to change the cross of your legs, that would be a good time. Just checking back in with your spinal alignment. I have a tendency sometimes to crouch, so just bringing shoulders back, aligning the spine, and we're going to do some breath work together. So we're going to do some retention breath. Today we're going to retain at the top and also retain at the bottom. So seeking balance in the breath on both sides, the inhale and the exhale. So an example of this, I'm going to breathe in, inhale for 5. I'm going to retain the breath at the top of the breath cycle. And this isn't like a holding of the breath. It's not, it's inhale. And if you know your throat lock, you can apply that here. Otherwise, just holding the breath at the top. And then we're going to exhale for 5, retain the breath at the bottom of the exhale. And then we're going to begin the cycle again. I'm going to begin with counts of 5. And then as we flow into it, I invite you to take in the breath ratio that works best for you. So that might look like 3 beats, might be 9 beats, just exploring and using this time to get to know yourself, get to know the breath and where you're at today. So let's begin centering here and inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, retain at the top, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, retain at the bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale, retain at the top, exhale, retain at the bottom, inhale, retain at the top, exhale, retain at the bottom. Good. Now, continuing at your own breath cycle, inhale, retain, exhale, retain. Continue to breathe at your own breath cycle here. Exploring the breath with curiosity. Let's take 2 more breath cycles here. Good. Finding center, strong, seated position. And from here, let's go into neck rolls. We're going to start with the right side. So right ear comes to the right shoulder. And begin rotating the neck down and around along the back side, the shoulder girdle. Finding the pace that's right for you. Begin to pair the breath. So I like to inhale along the front side of the rotation. Exhale along the back side. Inhale. And exhale. Allowing the breath to lead the movement. Seeking out any tension. And just allowing the breath to move into any points of tension or discomfort. Good. Let's take 2 more rotations on this side. And we'll come together in center. Once again, when I'm moving, I sometimes like to crouch and move. So just finding a strong seated spine, head extending towards the ceiling, and then we'll go to the left side, left ear to left shoulder. And begin with the breath, allowing the inhale to take you down into the rotation. Exhale along the back side. Inhale. And exhale. Following at your own pace. Observing if maybe one side is more open than the other, or exploring any points of tension with the breath, allowing the breath to open the neck. And let's take 2 more rotations on this side. And we'll meet in center. Let's do a breath together here. We're going to inhale for 5. Retain at the top. Exhale. Retain at the bottom. Good, and take an inhale and an exhale at your own pace. Good, we're going to do some lateral opening of the spine with some twist and breath work. So once again, if you want to cross or change the cross of your legs, you can do that here, just keeping the circulation in the legs and balance. You can also go into hero's pose here. So you might be here. And I also enjoy. You can bring in a block here for a more supported posture. And we're going to be twisting. So you're just going to want a strong base, strong foundation, no matter where you're at in the legs. Okay. So from here, rooting into your base, aligning the spine. We're going to bring the arms into cactus arms. And I'm going to twist to the right and inhale. When I twist to the left, exhale. And I want to try and maintain my frame here. So my twist doesn't go very far, maintaining this frame. I don't want to break the frame just for the sake of the twist. So considering there's a sheet of, can act as if there's a sheet of glass or a pane of glass here that you're rotating with. Okay, we're just going to open up the trunk of the body. So inhaling here on the right side, exhale, and this can be as quick or as slow. The pace is up to you, as is the vigor of the breath. So what might feel good for you today is or you may be here. What's important here is the sinking and the pairing of the breath. Inhale as you twist to the right, exhale as you twist to the left. Taking this at your own pace. If you feel any sort of lightheaded or dizziness, just take yourself back to center. Warming up the body. Let's take 5 more at whatever pace, 5 rotations. Good. Meeting in center, hands can go to your knees, wherever you're at. If you want to take that into like a morning warm-up that you do, another modification is you can put your hands on your shoulders and really work to spread your wings out and twist from here, and that's a really nice variation. It's a little bit more intense for me in my shoulders, but you can play around with that. So let's take a breath here together. Inhale for 5. Retain at the top. Exhale. Retain at the bottom. Good. Take an inhale and an exhale at your own pace. And from here, we're going to go into seated cat-cow, so opening the spine and the arc of the curvature of the spine. So we're going to inhale into cow. You can use your hands to help bring your chest forward, opening up the anterior side of the body. And then on the exhale, curving the back, creating a letter C along the front side of the body, opening the shoulders and the spine on the exhale, and then inhale, coming through. Elbows can reach towards the back of the room. Exhale into cat. Finding your own pace and flow here. I really like to think about this, especially when I'm in seated posture, as a wave. So really riding the wave of the breath and pairing the body movement here, opening the spine, front and back of spine. Allowing the breath to flow down the spine, lubricating, opening. Let's do 2 more complete rotations here. Inhaling and exhaling. Good, and when you're ready, we'll meet back in center. Let's take a breath together here. Inhale. Retain at the top. Exhale. Retain at the bottom. Good, and taking an in and out breath at your own pace. Good. When you're ready, we're going to advance ourselves into a tabletop position. Early in the morning, I like to support my knees, placing a blanket under my knees. So if that's right for you, or if you have one handy, you can go ahead and grab that. So from tabletop, we're going to go into thread the needle. And so first, just starting with our 4 corners here, we want to be rooted firmly in the knees, palms on the floor. And we're going to start with raising our right hand. So taking the right hand out from the body, reaching up towards the sky over the right shoulder. Breathing here. And on the next inhale, you're going to swoop the arm. It's going to come through underneath the left hand, as if you're serving plate. And you're just going to bring the elbow and the shoulder down to the floor. You can extend the left arm out, or you can keep it close to your body. And then most traditionally, the forehead's going to rest on the floor. And you don't want to have any pain here. So we're opening the shoulders, stretching the back side of the body. But if there's pain, just bringing the arm back a little bit towards the body to lessen the stretch can be helpful. If you want to go deeper into the stretch, you can extend the left arm. And if this isn't uncomfortable for you in any way, you can just go into child's pose from here. Breathing here, allowing the shoulder to open, inviting the breath into the stretch. Good, and on the next exhale, bringing the elbow back in, the right arm will come through, and we'll come back to tabletop. Now we're going to go to the left side, so just connecting with the breath here. And on the next inhale, taking the left arm up, extending it towards the ceiling. Breathing here. Next exhale, diving through, threading the needle, coming down to the forearm on the Right side. Forehead on the floor, or you can look to the right hand side, whatever is most comfortable for you. Breathing here. On the next inhale, bring the left arm back through. Meeting tabletop here. Let's go ahead and take a downward dog. So bringing the toes to the mat, lifting the hips towards the back wall. Noticing where your weight is falling on your hands. So spreading the fingers wide, opening the palms and distributing the weight through the palms. Not allowing the wrist to take all the weight. Allowing the shoulders to slip back down the back. Hips point towards the corner of the ceiling. Straight line. And then we begin to extend the legs. Heels come towards the floor. Still early for us, so allowing as much bend in the knees as you need. And breathing here. Good, and let's take the right foot up into the sky. Toes can be pointed or flexed, whatever feels best for you. We try to keep the hips in line. Just noticing that today. And then on the next inhale breath, bring the right leg through. Finding a runner's lunge here. Left leg is engaged. Right toes on the floor. If it feels good for you, you can bring your blocks in here to support you. So allowing the chest to lift off the leg. You can also be here if you don't have blocks. It's just a little bit more engaged of a posture here. And then if it's in your practice today, you can rise up into a crescent lunge. Opening the left hip flexor, front of left leg, left hip. Breathing here. And then bringing the hands down. You can come all the way to the mat. On the next exhale, bring your right leg back up to the sky. Three-legged dog. Inhale. And on the exhale, bringing the right foot down to the mat. Downward dog. Let's come forward into plank. Holding here. Shoulders stack over the wrists. Flat spine, like a board. And then you can bring yourself down in a strong push-up or support yourself with your knees, coming down to the floor. Resting the forehead on the mat. Take a breath. Hands are tucked in by our sides. Elbows sink back to the hips. We're in cobra position here. So engaging the low back on the next inhale. Rising the chest up with the engagement of the low back. The hands are just a support here. They're not bearing the weight. Head is a natural extension of the spine. Breathing here. Inhale. And on the next exhale, lowering down. Inhale and exhale. We're going to take our hands, palms of the hands are going to go flat to the mat, and they're going to go underneath the hips. So you're stacking the hips on top of the hands. Okay. Chin rests on the mat, eye gazes forward. And just breathe here for a moment. This is a wonderful stretch for the elbows and the wrists. Then on the next inhale, we're going to point the toes of the right foot and begin to use the back side of the right glute, the right low back, engaging the right side of the body to lift the right leg up. Breathing here. Engaging the legs. And on the next exhale, lowering down. Taking a breath here. On the next inhale, pointing the toes of the left foot. Raising the left foot into the air, engaging left side of the body. Breathing here. On the next exhale, lowering the left leg down. On the next breath cycle, you can either stay here, or if it's in your practice, you can take the forehead to the floor like you're kissing the mat. You're going to shift the weight forward into the top of the shoulders because we want to open up some leverage in the forearms and the legs, creating a fulcrum point. And on the inhale, we're going to raise both legs together. Breathing here. And exhale, release. Inhale and exhale. You can release the hands from out from under the body. Bring them to your sides, palms face up. Toes come together, feet fall to the floor. And you can turn your head to the right or left side. We're going to breathe here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. On the next inhale, just switching the rotation of your head. So taking your neck to the opposite side. Breathing here. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And from here, we're going to plant our hands back underneath our shoulders. Push ourselves up into downward dog. Breathing here. Allowing the Arms to open up, the blood to flow down from the shoulders. Opening the legs. Breathing here. The next inhale, bringing the left leg up to the ceiling or to the sky. Can flex or point the toes. Three-legged dog. Trying to keep hips in alignment so that it looks like a flat board across the hips. Easier said than done. On the next inhale, stepping the left leg through. And finding your runner's lunge here. If this is too much for you, you can always drop the right leg to the floor, the right knee to the floor, flat, top of foot flat to the mat. You can also bring in your blocks to support you here. Bringing the torso off of the thigh. For a more engaged runner's lunge, you can also be here. Neck and head are a natural extension of the spine, flat back, squaring the shoulders, allowing them to melt down the body. And if it's in your practice today, on the next inhale, you can rise into a crescent lunge. For the crescent lunge, the toes on the back foot stay planted on the mat, heel is in the air. You can have a slight bend in the knee to support the posture. Arms come up overhead. Arms can also be at the hips, but for the full expression. Thumbs point to the back wall. Breathing here. On the next exhale, bringing your hands down to the mat. We're going to bring our left leg back through. Three-legged dog. Breathing here. On the next exhale, bringing the left foot to the floor. Downward dog. Breathing here. Let's from here come to our knees. Go into a child's pose. You can spread your knees out, bringing the torso down to the mat, arms out in front of you, palms to the floor, forehead to the mat. Good, and on the next inhale, pushing yourself up into downward dog once again. From here, we're going to walk, hop, or step up to the front of the mat. Palms stay on the floor. Now we'll root to rise up. Arms come up overhead. And then down into Namaste at the heart. And so from here, we're going to take ourselves into goddess pose. So, if you're at the top of your mat, we're going to take our left foot, stepping out 3 or 4 feet beyond hip width distance. So right now my feet are facing towards the front of the room, but I'm going to go ahead and take those out to about a 45-degree angle. Whatever feels right for you. It can be a little bit more than that. or less. Find what's right. And then we're gonna bring ourselves down, thighs come parallel to the floor, and noticing your knees. So it's our tendency, or at least my body's tendency, to want to bring the knees forward. So really trying to roll those hips, hip joints, tucking the tailbone under and bringing the knees into alignment over the ankles as much as you can. So just being aware of that rotation, and then coming down to the level that feels right for you. Arms come into cactus, opening the chest, engaging across the shoulder girdle, the collarbone and the sternum, inviting the shoulders to relax back down towards the hips. Breathing here. We're going to do some movement and breath work from here. And I just invite you to be thinking about those ocean waves as we do. But so on the inhale, we're going to come up out of our goddess and just arms up overhead. And I know my picture can't show all of me, so I'm just coming up like this. Arms up overhead into prayer, inhale. And then on the exhale, pulling the breath down back into goddess here. So let me show it from here. So on the inhale, I'm going exhale, inhale, exhale. That's the arm movement. And the leg movement is basically coming in and out of the crouch or lunge or squat, however you think of it. So inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Finding your own pace. We're just pairing the breath with the movement. Two more here. Good, and then from here, we're gonna hold for 3. And then we're just gonna begin shifting now right to left. Opening the inner thighs, calves. And you can pair the breath here, what feels right for you. Embracing that ocean wave. Inhale to the right, exhale to the left, or maybe you're inhaling to the left, exhale to the right. But either way, finding the flow that works for you and the pace that works for you. Two more here. Full rotation. Good. And then stepping the right foot to the left on the back side of the mat. Releasing the arms into mountain pose. Breathing here. Good. So we're gonna do this camera angle, sorry. Okay. So we're gonna transition into tree, coming to the center of your mat. Reconnecting with the breath. Really, I don't know about you guys, that was warming, very warm. Rooting down through the feet. I like to think of the 4 corners on the sole of the foot, planting down with equal weight. Reestablishing my root. Bringing awareness into the feet, the legs, engaging the legs here. So, as we transition to tree, rooting through the left foot, engaging the left leg, and begin your right foot's ascent up the left leg. So you may be toes pointed to the, or toes on the floor, and your right heel at your left ankle. You may have your leg slightly higher, right foot on left shin, or you may come into a higher expression of your tree. So using your arms here, whatever way to support you and balance you. I like to start with my hands over my heart. It's where I find my center. Keeping the alignment of the hips here. Tucking the tailbone slightly, stacking the spine. Imagining that invisible string from the top of your head to the top of the ceiling. And if it's in your practice today, you can extend the arms up. You might take the gaze to the ceiling or close the eyes for further balance. Just breathing here. Strong tree. And then bringing the arms back to prayer wherever they are today. You can support the leg as it descends down. And then reestablishing your grounding. Mountain pose. And begin bringing your weight to your right foot. Engaging the right leg, right hip. The left foot begins the ascent up the right leg, whatever that looks like for you today. Coming into tree pose, left side. Always being aware of your hip alignment. Invite the arms into the posture. You might have hands in heart over your heart, Namaste. Breathing here. Inhale and exhale. To advance the posture, you may bring arms up overhead to a V shape, extending your tree. You can bring the hands into prayer overhead. Might bring the eye gaze towards the ceiling. Or to further challenge your balance, you can close the eyes. And be aware, it's fun to just even try that and see how that affects your body's ability to balance itself. And the next exhale, bringing hands back to Namaskar. So you could support the left leg as it descends down the right leg to the floor. Hands in prayer. Breathing here. Good. So with our feet about hip width distance apart, we're going to do a slight turnout of the toes. We're going to be going into frog posture, and I'm going to have to adjust time here. We're going to be headed to the floor from here, so we're here. We're going to begin to crouch down. We're coming into a yogi squat here. Your elbows can come to the inside of your knees. And we begin to extend the back, bringing the shoulders down. I like to use equal pressure in my arms here and use the arms to open the legs. If this is too much for you, you can bring in a block to support the squat and be here. A bolster will work as well. Breathing here, inhale and exhale. Good. One more breath cycle here. And we're going to rise up. You can come into a quick mountain pose just to reset here. And then we're going to come down to our mats. From here, we're going to take a reclined bound angle. So if we're here, start in a quick staff pose. Bring the heels together and bring them up towards the body. Feet are connected and legs flop out to the side. And then from here, and you can support yourself with blocks, of course, if that's too much of a hip rotation for you. And straight spine, and we're just going to begin to lie back. Arms are open to the sides of the body, palms facing the ceiling. If you wanted to go into the restorative version of this posture, you have your props ready. You can be here. You can also use the blocks to support your bolster like this. And so we still find the bound angle legs, but lying back and allowing the spine to melt over the bolster, shoulders fall open. No matter where you are, whether your back's on the floor or if you're supporting yourself with a bolster, just connecting to the breath here. Noticing where you feel the breath now, whether you feel it in the chest, coming in the chest, the belly, perhaps the nose, but noticing any difference you may feel between now and the beginning of class. And then just tuning in to the in and the out breath. The prana, the life force on the inhale. The apana on the exhale. Letting go. Allowing the breath to become like a wave. On the inhale, we bring to the surface anything that's ready to flow and go from our lives. And we allow it to go with the exhale. Inhale. Bringing to light any tension, any emotions that are ready to release, and allowing them to wash away with the exhale. Good. And you can stay in this posture if it's comfortable for you, or you can shift yourself by extending the legs, releasing the bolster and the props into a savasana, corpse pose. Just breathing here. Inhale. And exhale. And you can continue with the breath meditation of inhaling things to the forefront and exhaling them in the flow, or you may choose in your savasana to go forward with this other visualization. But as you lay in your savasana, really embracing the quality of stillness here. So we invite that into the breath. If there's any heavy breathing, just inviting the breath into a calm flow. Maybe you imagine yourself floating the top of a beautiful lake. The body feeling weightless, supported by the beautiful water. And in this water, you can open yourself up to clear or cleanse, to heal and support the body, and to let go of anything that's no longer needed. Allowing anything that may feel dense or stagnant to just fall to the floor of this vast, deep lake. Here you can feel the sun as it warms your body, feeling the light come down through your head, washing through your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your chest, your stomach, your pelvis, your hips, your top of legs, your bottom of legs, to your toes. And just allowing yourself to stay here for as long as feels good for you. I wish you a beautiful day no matter where you're at. And I thank you so much for being with me here today. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in you. Namaste.